Hello. Nobody out there yet. Just signed on. Had to get gas on my hands. Had to, before I started, had to go out and put some fuel in the generator so when I need to start it, it's ready to go. So, people, Jack asked if I'd go live afterwards, and here I am. I think I explained a lot of stuff there. Oh, I got 2 people watching now. 2. Let's get a few more going so I don't have to repeat myself a bunch. Hey, how you doing, Whoopi? Somebody, 5 now. All the people telling me I was wrong about Forrest Fenn's will when I brought it up a year ago and stuff. Yeah, everybody, oh, you're wrong. Gay Delkin trying to tell me I'm wrong. I just did I did this to Gay Delkin. Yeah. Oh yeah. Whiskey give me bad headaches. Just because I most of my life I was probably wasn't absorbing B12 most of my life, and I lived this long. That's why I have health problems, because doctors didn't do their job 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you know. So they just let it get worse and worse and worse, and pretty soon, you know. Yeah, here I be in Colorado. You see my computer screen and my glasses here. You see, I got another one I can activate here. You got 2 of them there. So I can actually follow the chat on there on that too. I got my tablet. I got my phone, my tablet, my computer. There. So I can have the chat on the computer here, and so I always have it on the screen. On the live one, it comes up and goes away, and that's distracting because you start reading something and it disappears. And my important day for Forrest Fenn, for everything to be done, is winter solstice. That's when I told you can see Moses. You know, Moses only comes out at winter solstice, and Moses is at a subtle hint, a place that matches the description of where his fighter jet crashed, halfway up 1,000-foot bluff, and it created a fireball he knew would attract unwanted attention. And that's where you find Moses, because Moses is meek. Halfway up 1,000-foot cliff, a bluff is a cliff, okay? He's halfway up the cliff, and that's no place for meek Moses. And what does the Bible say the meek do? The meek inherit. Oh yeah. Hey, puppet. You like that edit I did, the animation? That was pretty good. Forrest Fenn goes to the pearly gates and to meet St. Peter. Now I could do another one where St. Peter told him to go see Anubis, because Anubis weighs your heart against the weight of a feather, you know? And if your heart's lighter than a feather, you can pass. You can go to heaven. If not, you know. So what St. Peter didn't just, you know, he said, no, he didn't turn him back like Jeffrey Epstein got sent straight to hell. He told Forrest Fenn, go see Anubis, and he'll weigh your heart against a feather. And so I can have an Anubis episode. Puppet Forest sees his adventure to find Anubis. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun animating. And I did one earlier of using Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because you know, I had the thing figured out. And most, you know, it was a shock when he said that it had been found. No way anybody got it in front of me. I went all over that place up there on the hill. You know, it wasn't very easy to get to, but he said, when he says the end is drawing nigh, okay, well, if you look up in Exodus where it says nigh, God told Moses, don't come nigh, don't come near, you know, take off your shoes. That's why Forrest was barefoot in several stories. I think when Skippy left him off on the side of the road, he was barefoot. And after the Buffalo Cowboy car, he was barefoot. Was he barefoot while he was waiting to be rescued? I got to read that one again to see if there's a barefoot thing in there. And when he said he spread pepper around to throw off the pepper and stuff, it was because these blazes are peppered over the hill. They're sprinkled across the mountain. Yeah, I was surprised, and I cursed him. I had his phone number on a Facebook group for about 2 hours, and I took it down. I don't think many people call, you know, but it was a list you could find. You could have found it on info 411.info. You know, directory assistance would give you his phone number if you asked for it. Does anybody know if it still rings? Now, the document that Fenn's attorney filed in the Anderson case said that they are working on appointing his personal representative. They haven't done it yet, and it probably won't happen for at least 45 more days, which is November 1st. So if there's a finder to be notified yet, that's not going to happen until at least sometime in November. He didn't say in 45 days, at least 45 days. That means it could be a little longer than that. Because this is all in courts and legal proceedings and what Forrest instructed them to do. He said he put covenants on things. That means that his property, there are certain things that you cannot change at his property, or certain things you can't take away from it, or add to certain things you can't add to it. But I think if that be the case, that it's, that he's wanting the finder to take care of it. Then his property, he wanted it a Smithsonian. And that hints to me that he wants his house to be a museum. And afterwards, the finder will, if finder's me, I'm getting a hold of the Smithsonian and saying, what do we do? You guys give me this much a month, you take care of it. That's, that's about it, but he said the finder could do whatever they want with the treasure chest, but they can't do whatever they want with the house. But there has been a lot of bad public bids out about of late, and few are still upset on who, where, when, how. when Forrest said there'd be a lot of surprises this year is not over yet. If I mean, I want to go to some this year. I want to go to a New Year's party. I haven't gone to one in a long time, but I want to go to one this year. Shoot, maybe they can go organize their finale, okay? But how about organizing a Forrest Fenn New Year's Eve party? Oh, the queen. Yeah. Well, at least you would have a paycheck every month. Yeah. We can organize a party, and my neighbors might complain here, so maybe I'll have a GoFundMe thing, and so I can get enough to rent a hall, and have a Forrest Fenn New Year's Eve party. That'd be fun. Maybe some people slide on the ice and get killed on the way. and then try and blame it on the party, right? That's incidental. If you're invited to a party and something happens on the way there, that ain't the person who had the party had nothing to do with your little accident on the way, or you drowning in the river because you stopped to go skinny dipping on the way, or played in the rapids, or went swimming under the ice on top of the river. If you do that kind of stuff, that's not covered. You actually have to have a martini glass cut your throat open, to sue the party, right? And if that happens, then somebody staged it because I made that little comment. I'm the finder, and Forrest Fenn's team hasn't come forward yet. That's what it is. That's why he only congratulated all the searchers. He didn't congratulate the finder because the finder hasn't been notified yet. Nowhere in the poem does it say, if you've been wise and found my treasure chest. I'm hinting of treasure. I didn't say the treasure was out, not in the book, not in the poem. No, he doesn't say that he put the treasure chest out there in the poem. He says that in comments and interviews and what, but what he says outside of the books isn't necessarily somebody messaging me now, right? I won't tell you who it is. Secret messenger. But yeah, there's other things. There's. I might know some things I won't tell you yet. People just don't know. Oh, well, so what if it's halfway up a 1,000-foot cliff? That's only one. I have hundreds of coincidences that are just perfect, and the canopy of stars is about Hathor, and the Egyptian mythology about Hathor, or she's known as Nut before Egypt, and she created the Milky Way with her breast milk. Made the Milky Way. Why do they call it the Milky Way? Because of the canopy of stars that's known as the Egyptian goddess Hathor or Nut. Newt. Some people say Newt because they don't want to say nut, but it's spelled N-U-T. And so, okay. Um, take care of the other messages. Public forest. And I told him, come and watch. You don't have to comment. There's been a lot of bad public vids out lately. A few are upset about who, where, when. Because the people are impatient. And you're not living, because it's all about Moses. I look at the Bible. What does it say to do? Wait. Don't do Moses. What do I do? What do I got to do? God said, just wait. Just wait. All you got to do is wait. Do nothing. And that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to do nothing. I'll tell you I'm doing nothing. I'm still doing nothing when I'm here. The current state of affairs in the world has anything to do with the estate is being the estate has not his will isn't read yet, or it isn't. The lawyers aren't prepared to put the person in. They're going by Fenn's instructions that he put on the blueprints. Forrest Fenn wrote the blueprints, and he put dates in there that this happens this day, this happens this day, and he gave them specific instructions to follow to fulfill his wishes. And you can't change that. I can't change that. You just, like God told Moses, just wait. It will happen. It'll come. It'll come. That day will come. And since Forrest Fenn made it clear last year that there'd be a lot of surprises this year, it's going to happen before the end of the year. And I say winter solstice, Christmas at the latest. I think it'll all be done by Christmas. You can have a New Year's Eve party. Maybe down in Santa Fe. Yeah, if anybody has a place for me to bring my RV down to Santa Fe for a little while, I'll come down and visit on my way to Arizona. But if I got business to take care of in this area, I can't be going to Arizona. Yeah, sure. My goodness. Yeah, there's a fake pandemic going around trying to make everybody wear masks, and you know what the big story is? They plan on the pandemic being cleared up the day after the election. Isn't that a wonderful election tool by states that are on fire? You can go and protest, but you can't go and vote. It's crazy. All about the Benjamins. Yes, the Benjamin Franklin, the hundreds. Yeah, Forrest wanted to put that note or a check or whatever that would be a note, right? He wanted to put a check, but he didn't know if the bank would be there when the person found the box, or if the check would rot away inside the box. So he didn't put a note inside the box. But his whole story about wooden Moses that Leo Salazar carved out of the wood, and the wood didn't cringe or cry. It was brave wood. Why would he say that wood had feelings, any kind of feelings, unless he was implying that wood, that was the brave wood, was Moses. And Moses was modeled after the one that Leo Salazar pointed at and told Forrest Fenn that's where Moses received the 10 Commandments. And if you found that Moses, which I did, I found it before Barbara Anderson even started searching. I had January 10th, 2018, I emailed Forrest the pictures of Moses. And on February 10th, he said he had a gut feeling it's going to be found this year. Because I had the pictures of the whole poem's about Moses. No paddle up your creek. His mother put him in a basket and set him adrift on the Nile River. Hey, Moni, Silver Thread, that's good. Yeah, the Silver Thread Highway, and Jack Dempsey, who was punched by Cowboy Luttrell, blindside ambushed by Cowboy Luttrell, fought in the Holy Moses Mine, connecting up in Creed on the Jack Dempsey fought on the Holy Moses Mine in Creed. Anyhow, I don't know what part got cut out because my phone had to reconnect. And so there's why the bell didn't ring at a fight between Jack Dempsey and Willard in 1919 in Toledo, Ohio, more than 300 miles. Well, Jack Dempsey, who fought in Toledo, is from Manassas, Colorado, which is right by near the New Mexico border and Highway 285. It's about a mile off of 285 to the east of 285. And it's right by the Brownie Hills and the Ferry Hills, where I think it was that Forrest had his turquoise mine. And there's all kinds of rock, the figures in the rocks there. There's a reason they call them the Brownie Hills and the Ferry Hills. It's because of the figures in the rocks. And it's national parks. It's the oldest, some of the oldest archaeology that we have on this planet here in Colorado. Older than Sumeria. The Egyptian gods Anubis and Thoth were said to have come from Atlantis, and Thoth built the pyramids in Egypt after Atlantis was destroyed. And I found both of those guys up here on the rocks. So, I'm not an archaeologist, so whatever I say, people don't believe, But we need an archaeologist that's not a chicken shit and can come and look at it. I'll show him Thoth, Anubis, and the Moses figure who's actually Thoth. See, Moses wrote the Bible, and so he's a scribe because he wrote things. He wrote the Bible. So, and Thoth was a scribe. So Moses kind of replaced Thoth, just as Jesus replaced Moses. Jesus replaced Horus and other things. The same story about the sun reaching its furthest point south at winter solstice. There we go. And it stays there 3 days, and then it starts moving north again on the western horizon. As it sets, it moves further north. And that's why you only see the Thoth figure on the side of the 1,000-foot bluff at winter solstice. And that's why I say winter solstice, this will all be over. It'll all be done then. Because it ties to Moses and creation and ancient religion and mythology and and other people like Davio, he's got a dog. Well, yeah, I got a dog too, but my dog has a name. His name is Anubis, the god of the dead, guardian of treasure. He stands at the gate of heaven. Anubis is the ancient saint. They replaced Anubis with Saint Peter. Saint Peter sits at the pearly gates, and you got to go and weigh your heart with St. Peter, or you got to weigh it with Anubis. This is 2 ways to get into heaven. But St. Peter is just a replacement for Anubis. And really, you don't have to go weigh your heart anywhere. Yeah, it's the winter solstice. Uh, um, the announcement was just before summer solstice, June 6th, and summer solstice is June 20th, 21st. Winter solstice, I don't know what day. I can look it up this year. Winter solstice. That should be the 21st of December. Um, yep. Isaiah, yep. Brownie Hills, just south of. Yep. Yeah, Brownie Hills, and on the other side of the river from the Brownie Hills are the Ferry Hills, and that's why I have this little Brown Ferry book. Got it in here, and it's in another box. This hand, I gotta take pills for a shaking hand. I got tremors because my nerves are fucked up. But yeah, see, I keep it in the Anison can. That's my Brown Ferry book, and all the pages and images are in there. But it's the size of my thumbnail. Is it, but it's a complete book. And I have the big paperback copy, so I don't have to read this one. And I have my, if you heard the Gorman Gallery, there's one in Santa Fe and there's one in Taos. But this was a stone I found, and if you know of seeing Gorman paintings, you'll see the similarity. It was a little stone, and I color penciled a Indian woman, Native American woman on there. You got to bring it by the gallery sometime. Monday. Moni. Oh, what did Moni say? Whoopee. Or was that some kind of personal show or hide? Just said cute. The mamas and the papas sang about it. Stopped into a church, got down on my knees, and I began to pray. Yep. Yeah. And actually, Moses, all three religions use Moses. So he doesn't belong to a particular religion. He's a spiritual figure. Forrest said it was spiritual and not religious. Religious would have had to do with one religion, but they all tell the story of Moses. If you get your religion a little from this one, a little from that one, a little from the other one, you're a spiritual person. You don't belong to a particular religion. And Forrest talked about going to his daughter's church for the chili cook-off. Chili kind of causes hot chili, burn your mouth, a little bit blazing. Very clever for the stone painting. Yeah, some searchers overrate the complexity of the search, knowing about head presses, foot pounds, acre feet, Bible verses, blah, blah, blah. Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of doesn't take much of the Bible. And he says things to throw people off too. He'll say things so you put doubt in what he said. Don't go by everything he said. Sometimes sometimes he's trying to get you sidetracked. Because he had told me he never heard of the places that I was referencing by name and stuff. And other people thought, oh yes, he knew them. He knows that he'd been there a lot. And this was something that was shown to him before 1991. It was when he had cancer. And the guy that showed it to him, Forrest recovered, and the guy who showed it to him was in good health, died. He's like the guy from the Green Mile, sucked all the cancer out of Forrest, and he went for him. The guy was, Forrest called him an omnipotent guru. He suddenly died just not long after showing Forrest where Moses was. Yeah, I'm not into the, God said there's only one God. Don't worship any others. And people are, JC and Allah. There's only one God. There aren't any others. A lot of religions are pretty damn evil. Look at the Catholic Church and all the pedophiles it has. Yeah, and churches killing people by the thousands and shit because their beliefs are different. That's not a religion of peace or love, any of them. Oh yeah, there's some very cool stuff, and I found lots of, and you see this. There's a lot of people hugging each other, women holding babies, dead people laying across, somebody sitting there, and somebody's laying across their lap, and it's like four-dimensional. It's 3D, but it's you can see that one face might have 50 other figures in it. It's the Matrix. It's Joseph Smith stuff. It's like, if people didn't make this, then God is really amazing. Not only Catholics, Mormons, Jews, witnesses, they all. Yeah, that's okay to say that. What? Oh, see, you mentioned a religion, and so YouTube is saying, hey, take a look at this. They're talking about a religion. You're not allowed. You're allowed to talk about religions. There's a thing called freedom of speech. Manasseh is a Mormon. See, it's Joseph Smith stuff. And Joseph Smith believed that there would be evidence of Atlantis here, and he was right. That reminds me, I got to call the archaeology department at BYU tomorrow. Falwell's junior wife. Falwell's junior's wife. Oh, really? Yeah. See, and they use that, and like the boys' camp and stuff. There was a lot of stories of these children being flown to DC on private planes for sexual favors for politicians and stuff. And those dirty politicians, Trump is cleaning. He's taking the carpet up and cleaning the dirt out. What do you think we all ate here? Here. Why do I think you all ate here? What do you mean ate here? There must be another word you were trying to use. What's the purpose of life to you? Just to get more experience. God enjoys himself by living one life after another forever. It never ends. It's eternal. Someday you'll be a monkey. Or none of us would be here if it wasn't for fucking people. Plain and simple. Is there anybody got here via some other route? Everybody is the result of some horny guy wanting to get his rocks off. Well, some might be, taken advantage of by 7 girls in a station wagon, having a bachelorette party, putting something in their drink. I was an electrician on temperature controls, and I had a job doing thermostats at all the thermostats in a high school. I was walking down the hall while everybody's in class. What are you doing out here? I'm working. I'm working on the thermostats. It's my job. I got taken to the office and proved I wasn't a student. I am the walrus. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah. Reminds me, I wonder where my mammoth tusks were in Los Angeles at the postal service thing in July, and it's still there. Politics is surprised enough. What am I missing? X, Y, and there. Those of you who couldn't find the way out of your own maze with a map and directions, and you are many. People have supposedly reported strange lights. Yeah, I've got a picture of a orb up by Mount Blanca. I took a picture just at the right time, and when I saw it up on the up in the cloud way was when it says reconnecting. I try and pause, but you might have lost a couple seconds there. There's no reason for it to be reconnecting. I got all the bars are lit up on my phone. And Verizon, oh, you're too far away from the tower. Like, no, I'm not. I can see it from here. Line of sight, you idiots. And they don't realize they're talking to a microwave engineer. I designed microwave systems for Sprint in the 80s. And I designed fiber optic networks for Time Warner Telecom in the 1998, 99, 2001. What do you fear was? What would you do if fear was not a factor and you could not fail? You can't fail. If you're reincarnated, what's it matter if you die? That's maybe the way forests look at it too. Well, this body's old and wasted. Time to go get a new one. Boy, they YouTube even lights up the FCKN. Show or hide. It's like for review. If I don't hit hide, it'll just show. Do you feel you've lived in the same days many times before? Maybe, I don't know. It's a pretty magical time that we live in. 2,000 years ago, you didn't have computers and phones and internet and cars and stuff. And back in Atlantis, they didn't have Ford F-250s, F-350s, or even F-150s. But what they did have was mammoths that they could put their whole family on there just like an SUV, and they could carry trees and logs and rocks and move logs and rocks. They could do all kinds of things with these giant beings that are known as the Colombian mammoth. You look at India and people working with elephants to do labor for them. Nobody knows nowadays what the they make the mammoth this raging beast, and no, they're gentle to those that are gentle to them, and like me, I'm gentle to anybody that's gentle to me, but you start shooting arrows at me and shit, and I'm gonna fire back at you. Am I still advertising for the Dollar Tree with my battery bag there? You know where to get batteries, right? I heard Atlantis had 6G service. They might have. Seeing the stuff they left on the rock walls is a they talk about the Akashic crystals or Akashic records that are stored in crystals. Well, it's like the crystal ball. The wizard looks into the crystal ball. There are stories in the crystals. I'll tell you that. You can find lots of stories in crystals. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I have an email that he said he would remain silent. He said, I'm going to remain silent. I'm going to be silent about it. He wasn't going to say anything for or against my Buffalo Cowboy car. He wouldn't confirm anything. I'm not going to confirm anything. Even if you have it, he's not going to confirm it. Because this thing he wrote his plan, his blueprint says this ends when I pass away. And the events that happen after, some of you people, if you're under 40 years old or so, you may not have had a parent that died and understand what happens when somebody dies and that the courts and all that stuff. These lawyers go at their pace. They don't care if you need something right away or anything. They just go at their own pace. You have to wait for them. People aren't willing to do the waiting for the answers. The answers come this year. Forrest said this year. A lot of surprises. They'll all be this year. Yeah, a substitute. There you go. Will be the substitute in the book. 2 places his father was trying to find a substitute. And Forrest Fenn had made a comment that he wondered if there was another Indiana Jones type like him out there. Somebody who could see what he's seen and stuff. He was looking for the other Indiana Jones that could find the Temple of Doom. The unpublished Temple of Doom. It doesn't say Yellowstone National Park. That's published, It's something that you're not going to find on any map or any pictures, any stories, unless you look at my pictures of Moses and my pictures of his pile of airplanes. And I have pictures of, there's one it's I call the Double Blazes Fire Hearth, or it's the Double Blazes rock formation. And it's like it's the alpha shape, and so it's like a triangle, and inside the triangle there's these like this, and when I took the picture and turned it upside down, it was cow udders and cats, And so, because the cow yanked the stool out from under him, and the cow there again, that's Hathor, the canopy of stars, you know, and it made the Milky Way with the milk. What do you? My final. What do you mean? What I want my final words to be? I'm nowhere near giving my final words. I got years to go. Anybody try and put a death sentence on me? I'm gonna hold them. I'm gonna put a mirror up and bounce it right back at you. Yeah, you know. I'll get my stick out. You just watch my intro video. Did I have it on the? I don't know if I did it on the puppet video. If I had my intro before and after, but look how many times I'm in there with a stick. Or my video where I found the Buffalo Cowboy car. I had my camera's on a stick that's slung over my shoulder, and you see the stick coming from the camera down to my shoulder. And that stick is why he put the stick in the box. It's a magic stick. And the only reason I found the stuff I found was because some supernatural force took me there. It never got too weird, Ganush. I got Ganush in my bedroom window. Moses' wrath. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about Moses. My neck is, But I'll do a little plug for this thing here. This is what I use when my neck is stiff. I get out my Lakota. Extra strong, extra fort. Oh, that's what fort means, strong. Extra strength, extra fort. A fort is a stronghold. Roll on pain relief, analgesic. Yeah, it's French. Yeah, it's Lakota. It's called Lakota, and you got to order it online from and it comes from Canada because it's right close to prescription strength. And I like it because it's a roll-on and don't stain. It's clear, and I take it, put it on my neck. And I might not feel it right away, but it'll kick in. And I can't touch. You can't touch your neck. You can't touch where you can't get this stuff on your fingers and then touch your eyes. Yeah, it takes a little while to recover from that. And I just dropped it on the floor. Let's stretch that muscle out. Look at this. This is my great grandparents. They had a computer draw it. He was born in 1876, and we used to play with my great grandpa when he come over, and he died when I was about 8. So between I remember him, from 5 to age 8. My great grandpa coming over, and we'd knock him down. He lived to 92. Creativity comes from not being ignorant. A lot of people want to call what I've seen it's pareidolia. That's ignorant. Anybody who uses the word that's pareidolia is ignorant. They're trying to say you're nuts, you're crazy. There's nothing there. There is something there, and if he's yeah, I see Hooley's in here, and there's somebody used the name Holly that they must have said something that they got a timeout or something in the other room earlier. And I don't think it was Hooley. and, and then I got a message from that rationalistic character. It was a kind of insulting message from him. And I told him he's lucky I don't block his ass. He might have, oh, there he is, rationalistic. And yeah, he said, I think Capro might be right when she said Bill is crazy. He thinks he solved the poem and will get rich when he received money received money from the will. Ain't happening. You didn't solve the poem, and we're not even in the right state. Capro said. Forrest Fenn laughed when asked it. Laughed when asked if you were the finder. So Capro asked Forrest Fenn if I was the finder, and he laughed. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. He didn't give her an answer. He laughed at her. Oh, aren't you gonna shit when you find out, Capro? She's gonna mess her pants. I swear, when she finds out, she's gonna mess her pants. It's gonna be everywhere. Smell bad too. What's the basic message? What's coming this year, and how does he know? In a nutshell, anyone. I called that it was in his will way more than a year ago, probably 2 years ago. The poem says, as I've gone alone in there, okay? And then you look further down. Where's the word there? In there. There'll be no paddle up your creek. And the word will is hidden in there. The word will is tucked in underneath the there. So in the poem, the first line is as. The last stanza starts with so, or the last two stanzas start with so. As above, so below. So the word will is hidden in the top, and the word will is spelled out in the last stanza, where the title comes. Where'd my book go? Where'd my book go, Jack? What'd you do with my book? It's right here. So the word will was hidden in there. Yeah. So hear me all and listen good. That sounds like Charlton Heston at the NRA. I want you all to listen and listen good. From my cold, dead hands, I'm taking it to the grave, just like I told Ralph Lauren. You know? So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. To get it from his cold, dead hands. I said nobody's going to have the treasure before Forrest Fenn is passed away. I don't think I said dead. I try not to say dead. I try to say passed away. So, and that's, that word, your effort will, the will, it's worth the cold to wait for his will. And some people don't want to wait for that to happen. They went after Forrest as soon as he said there was a finder, and they knew it wasn't them, and they didn't have the real solution. If you are brave and in the wood, man, that's Moses, and that's the Buffalo Cowboy car. Like I said, there's double blazes. It starts at one blaze, it ends at the blaze, the campfire with the gypsies in the drawing. That's where it starts. It ends the search area ends where the buffalo or the stout-hearted men figure is up on the canyon wall above the chain station 8 miles south of SF. There's a chain station, and on the top of the cliff behind over the trees at the chain station is the stout-hearted men figure of rocks laying on top of the rocks up there, the one laying down, and he has black pants in the drawing because he went down the slide. And is he barefoot? Is the stout-hearted man barefoot? I think he so. No, he got shoes on. They messed up that one. Yeah, Forrest was barefoot because God told him, take your sandals off. Don't come nigh. Don't come near. He's barefoot here. And he's barefoot. He said he was barefoot in the Buffalo Cowboy car. Had to walk home 4 miles barefoot. So from where the Buffalo Cowboy car is to where Moses was about 4 miles. That's amazing. Good night, Uli. Call them Jesus shoes. Yeah, I had an idea for that too. And maybe I'll pursue that idea once I have the funds to start my new product line. There was a north, so 8.5 miles north of Santa Fe. He's 8.5 miles south. Yeah. Well, it's another place with the initials SF. And it shouldn't be too hard for anybody to figure out. If you can't figure that out, then you should have never been looking for Forrest Fenn's treasure. Silver Fox is SF too. Jerusalem Cruisers. Yeah. Here's one of the, yeah. Okay, I read that one. When you're notified of winning the prize, you have to announce it on your I don't have an Instagram account. I'm not a millennial. I do my pictures on my computer, and you couldn't post on Instagram from your computer. You have to do it with your phone so that we know where you took the picture and we get all the data. We can't get that data from your computer. Because I can do a screenshot of it on my computer and then save it as whatever file name I want. It doesn't have any attachments of where it was taken and all that stuff. Who's in this picture? That's my great-great-grandparents. The other picture was my great-grandparents. Really? Well, I think I have one, but they didn't let me. I went there and I didn't have any pictures that I had posted weren't there. You know. So yeah, maybe someone is. If you can't send me a link for their Instagram. I'll see if it's mine or not. Boost on the guy. The last time was at my spot when Forrest died. Very old. I was literally at my spot at the moment he passed. Yeah, I was up in my search area just like 2 days before he passed. Or no, 2 days before he announced I was up there. Lately, when I've been trying to, when I drive out there, if I go out there to get my mail out that way, then I'll go. I might go taking some pictures of some other rocks and visit the. You want to know what? Tired and Weak was a place, and it's called Tucker Ponds. Tired and Weak is known as tuckered. I'm all tuckered out. And that's why it's Tucker Ponds, and why his grandson or granddaughter or somebody in the family had a dog named Tucker. That was about Tucker Ponds. And if you go to Tucker Ponds and you rotate the map so that west is at the top, you'll see the word wood on Pass Creek. As if you should wish to please my ghost when I pass this vale. There's Pass Creek, and that's where the wood was. And I found the Model A in the meadow shaped like a D. The word wood is actually grass, 300-foot grass meadows. And the word wood is about half a mile from the beginning of the W to the D. So it's a giant word wood written right across the creek there and below the campground down in the canyon there. And I walked that creek all the way down to camp, and I found a swimming hole that it's the size of one of them big bathtubs they have in nice houses, but it's 3 feet deep, and the water outside this hole was 6 inches, and so the waterfall went in this hole and then filled the hole's full of water, and then it spills out onto the bedrock and continues down the creek. And just beyond that is where Forrest Fenn's totem is, and across the creek on the canyon wall across the creek was this sculpture, sculpted in the rock was a skull with an ear sitting next to it, and then an ear horn. If you don't know what an ear horn is, it's the original hearing aid. Deaf people had a horn. It's like a blowhorn thing, except it had a little hook on it, and they put the end up in the ear, and you talk into the end of the thing, and it puts the sound right in their ear. That's how deaf people used to hear. Pouring water in front of the dude at the time. Crazy. What? Bronze jars are still in play. The one guy claimed he found one of the bronze jars across from the Dude Motel, underneath one of the posts that go up the border of the Yellowstone National Park. Had one of them bronze jars, and that guy accused me of stealing his solution and taking it. It's like, dude, where I found Moses, that's all my solution. I haven't been to Yellowstone since 2007. Just about the 4th of July, 2007 is the last time I was in Yellowstone. And I was there to fix a ranger's computer. I had to put a new monitor on his computer. On his laptop, needed a new screen. And I drove through. I was driving an '87 school bus through there. When I pulled up, the guy, I thought you had a school bus full of kids. I've always said that. Instagram just I just saw a thing lately that Instagram now lets you post pictures from your computer, but they didn't always do that. I tried, and I'm like, man, I go to Instagram and all that. There's nowhere to upload a picture, add a picture. But I don't care about Instagram. It's just, old guy. When I worked at Intel, we had when I worked at Intel, I was making 12-inch floppy drives. Most people never even heard of that. It's way back. It was 77, 78. I worked at Intel. And they had Pong and stuff. There's 5 spots in all. 2 bronze jars at each spot. Plus the chest at the 5th spot. Oh, if there's 2 bronze jars, the guy that went there, he only found 1. So if you go up there to Yellowstone, and he said it was one of the posts that had brass nails in it that were what Craven gave Forrest from one of the shipwrecks that he recovered. He gave Forrest these brass nails, and so you're looking for the fence post with the brass nails that look like somebody dug it up a year and a half ago or so, you know, and there might be another bronze jar under it. But I think for Forrest to put something like where that guy said it was 3 feet down, and Forrest would have had to had a van parked there or something to keep anybody from seeing what he was doing to put one there, or some, I don't know, some core hole driller to get down and drop it in and then fill it in. I don't know how you know, and I don't think so. He might have photoshopped the picture of the jar he sent me a picture of. It was a jar with frogs on it. Did he approve it? Yeah, he sent me a photo, and I did a video and talked about it because he promised me something, and he failed multiple times to deliver on his promise, and I cut him off. I said, "Fuck you, dude! You're lying to me. You're full of shit. I want nothing to do with you." And he was trying to get information to my location because he had access to ground penetrating stuff and all that, and access to satellites because he worked for some geology company and stuff. And I wouldn't tell him. And so if anybody used, like somebody said, this guy in Indiana, he had access to the satellites and used that to find, he's the one that found it and used that to find it. Forrest said the person went by the poem and found it. They didn't hijack on a satellite and go find it. And those satellites, they do a one square mile at a time. They can't just scan the whole, all of Wyoming or Colorado or, and there'd be way too much shit on it. And I don't know if it would detect just the box. This guy claimed he found a box left by Hemingway near West Yellowstone. But he said, yeah, great, you helped me find it by, it taught him how to read the book or whatever, and that's how he found that. I don't know what I taught him to help him find that there. I was never looking up there because when it says in the book to find a substitute and subtle hints, a substitute is a subtle hint, a substitute for something. Like the bullet hole in the cowl is a substitute for the fighter jet. The nose of the car is a substitute for the nose of the airplane. The bullet hole in the car is a substitute for the bullet hole in the airplane. So on. When I was wrong about the poem, when I searched in New Mexico, and when I searched up near Salida and Chaffee County and Nathrop and St. Elmo, St. Elmo's fire, blaze, ding, 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 ding. You know, me and my sister went up and searched near St. Elmo. I had did a video with her, um, her by the water cascade. Yeah, a waterfall, the water drops straight down. A cascade, it comes down through a bunch of rocks and splashes up and around the rocks and stuff. When don't Hemingway had a house on an island too? It's where he wrote most of his poetry. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before. One funny thing, I lived in Gardiner, Oregon, in 2012, and my first drone took off, went out over the river. It wouldn't respond to the controls. I couldn't tell it to come down because it was over water, and so I just watched what direction it went because it wasn't. It was maybe it was higher than the flatbed across the street because it flew over this flatbed truck across the street and headed out at an angle across the Umpqua River. And there was an island in the middle of the river. And remember, I'm in Gardiner. There's an island out there. And I went to look for the drone on this island. And there was this tall belly high grass like Forrest talks about. And I saw a nose sticking up out of the grass. I was like, what the hell's that? I went over and it was a tiki head carved out of a big log. It was like about 3.5 feet tall. It wasn't quite 4 feet and it wasn't 3 feet, you know? And it's this big tiki head. It's about 2 feet across. And I got it stored at a friend's place out in California. And so I actually found a treasure on Gardiner's Island. That's crazy. I found 3 bullet shell casings. Did you find any bodies, Evan? Blue cheesy. There's a couple of ways to get blue cheese. I had some blue cheese. I threw it out because it was supposed to be Monterey Jack. Found a hanging tree. If the hanging trees was there where the 3 bullets are, maybe the guy wasn't dying quick enough on the rope, and they filled him with lead. Yeah, can you imagine the noises coming from somebody hanging out? Put him out of his misery. Yeah, stop looking. Some of the rocks got some neat stuff on, but yeah, this jasper. It's pretty neat. Just show you some of my cool rocks. And look at that edge. This might have been a tool, some caveman's tool, because you can cut stuff. I could cut steak with that. Or it's a tooth off a prehistoric shark, right? And I had one here that's like another one that's like a knife. Where'd it go? I got rocks all over my desk. Then I'm turning into a rock hound. See, like this is a knife. See the edge? So I think this is a primitive knife. Pretty cool. And it holds in your hand nice. So, yeah, it's got slicing edge, and then there's a scraping edge on the other edge here. It has two edges. It's a double-sided, double blade. And where was that other cool rock? The black and white one. Where'd you go? My denture grip not holding. Yeah, one thing, if I end up with the treasure, I'm getting snap-in dentures. Screw these things, man. Can't stand the glue. After about 4 hours, your teeth start floating. This is a neat rock here. It's another jasper. But it seems there's some characters here. You see them? There's a little head right in there. There's some guy in there. Just a couple people. A couple figures. There's his giant gerbil next to him. Yeah, I looked on, the screen that I'm doing with, and then I saw it on my screen I'm monitoring on my tablet, and you couldn't see what I seen on. It didn't show the same thing I was showing you. That's weird. They're changing what you're seeing. They don't want you to see some stuff. My tablet's got a brighter picture than my phone. I'm streaming over my phone, and I got my tablet for a monitor. A decoy. Yeah, the decoys were all natural. There's a lot of square rocks the size of the chest out there. A whole lot of them. But the one decoy I had that got me banned from Chase Chat because I thought it was a box. It was the same size as the box. The picture I had of it was from 100 yards away, and it was hard to tell. I had to go there to find out that it wasn't the box, but it was a very good decoy, and it was in the well of the Tree of Life right there in front of Thoth. And the ibis beak come down right by the treasure, and there was a fish-shaped rock in the well of the tree with the roots and stuff, and there was a string hanging down and a stick coming off of the guy riding on the ibis that looked like he was fishing for that fish down there with the fishing for fish or treasure chest. But he was riding on a bird and fishing, and I call that fly fishing. When you're fishing from your airplane, you're fly fishing. And I sent the picture to Forrest Fenn. I asked him, I said, Major Fenn, is that you fly fishing, riding a bird? Riding a bird and fly fishing. Yeah, he thought that was funny. But I didn't hear that from him. Who knows? The shadow knows. Yeah, the shadow, the stick. Anybody ever seen Forrest Fenn use a cane or a walking stick at Femboree or anything? He wanted to, be on his own power and not needing machines and apparatuses to keep himself going. And on Too Far to Walk, there's the guy, the shadow of the, supposedly him with a stick, with a walking stick. And that relates to Moses and his stick. And I see stuffed Togo back here. It reminds me, do a plug for Jess and Cool Critters, who made this Togo here. So go to Cool Critters and get some stuffed animals. Or they have COVID-19 masks. No, but I found a hanging tree. Who knows? Okay, I don't see anything. Buddy posting anything new. Am I still streaming? Yeah, I'm still streaming because I'm watching it on my other device. All right, see you, Whoopi. Aloha. You going Hawaii? I'm gonna go to the airport and get your ticket before you get there. I'm kidding. I found the 3 special rocks at my spot and 3 more nearby. But what in the poem tells you there's 3 special rocks? I got to understand that. Because I know it all led to Moses. It told you how to get there and what you were looking for. And to me, you were looking for Moses. Because what I had was all these figures. I didn't know if it was Thoth, Anubis, the stout-hearted men, the gypsies. Which one of these figures is it all about? All his stories are on the canyon walls. And which story is it about? And somebody said that the letter A was the word that was key. And it could be the word I. I. Who is I? As I. If you're a pirate, I. You know? And so who is I? And even Sean Dodson said, who is the speaker in this poem? Who is speaking? I don't think it's Forrest. It's Moses. See them move? The glue's not holding. Poem relates to multiple things. Yeah. It took me from where warm waters halt to the home of Brown to no place for the meek, and the heavy loads and the water high, and the tired and weak, and the wood, and then you got to use a lot of what he's said and stuff, and it said led to the end of his rainbow, and he's made statements that he was taking it with him. So to take it with you, you have to take it past the light at the end of the tunnel. And I went past the light at the end of the tunnel. It was all there. Someday they'll have to make a movie about it. It will explain it better than I'm doing at explaining it. But people, when I tell people there's all these pieces, they can put together 3 pieces, but you tell them more than that. They can't put together more than those 3 pieces. They can't put together all of these stories are all part of my solve. Not just that there's Moses there, but his other stories are on the canyon walls also, and put me in the right place. I've got the Model A Buffalo Cowboy car in my shed, which after Forrest died sent this windstorm, 65-mile-an-hour wind that collapsed my shed in on the Buffalo Cowboy car. Entombed it in there, basically. I had to use a pry bar to get it to get to it. You know? But Forrest, he's the wind. He's become like Zeus. At least he didn't choose lightning. He chose wind. And my mother and father brought the snow and ice that came with that storm. And the rain, the snow, the ice, all that, and wind. Yeah. I better stop telling people what they can do after they're gone. There'd be tornadoes up here next. Supposed to be too high for tornadoes. They're messing with my volume? What do I have? I have my volume on my tablet turned down. Where is my volume here? Oh, it's up here. I didn't touch that screen. Oh, where is it? Oh, let's see. There. Is the volume any better now? I turned the volume up on my phone. That might have increased it. I don't know if it does on the microphone. And I accidentally started another video on my on my tablet underneath because my finger touched it. Suddenly watching storage auctions. Do you think the solve had anything to do with fly fishing? There's trout. There's brown trout in the river and in the creek. I know that when he said it's not near the Rio Grande River, that only meant the Rio Grande River. It didn't include its tributaries. Fly fishing. There are 7 solves in New Mexico, Montana. 7 solves, that's all? I think there were more than 7 on there. And several in Colorado and Wyoming. The one with the right spot in each state is the Joker card. Oh. Well, I found at least 9 of his stories on the canyon walls. And he had the story about Thoth. I found Thoth. He had this story about Osiris, and they cut his penis off, and they couldn't find his penis, and gave him a golden phallus, and he conceived a baby with his front. He came back from the dead and conceived a baby with Isis. I found Isis, and I found Osiris holding his penis. No, Tidor's videos were being messed with now. He's been frighteningly correct so far, minus the years. I don't know if I've seen Tidor. I don't know who that is. There was a time traveler with that name. Is all I remember that name. These are good glasses if I'm close enough to what I'm, like this close. If I go back this far, it's blurred. But if I come up here, everything's perfectly clear. I can read everybody's comments I got going on my tablet. Where, what? Evan Waters, John Titor once. That's right. The guy said his videos were having the audio messed with along with yours. Am I? Like I said, you got to adjust. Is everybody getting audio issues? There shouldn't be. I'm talking to my phone's right here. Sometimes my voice is louder sometimes because people, I can't hear you, so I'd raise my voice a little higher. Can you hear me now? So, and I don't have the volume on my tablet, so. Well, I have the volume on my tablet, but I have the Bluetooth speakers plugged into volume down. And that's how I mute the tablet, so you don't get the feedback. So is John Titor in the room here? I don't see him. You when you say John Titor, that's right. It's like you're responding to him, but I don't see him in the room. When Barbara's got this guy that was trolling her, cyberpunking her in text messages, it was somebody that had her phone number. So it's probably somebody she knew, or somebody she knew set that guy after her or something, just harassing. There's been lots of people that told me, I'm going to get it right now, and stuff, and irking you because they think they're going, and they're not going to your spot, and they don't know where your spot is. and it's just a bunch of BS. But my opinion is this guy that was harassing her on the text messages isn't the finder. Never met Forrest Fenn. Never went and searched her spot or anything. And I believe that her case, unless she identifies who this person is and can prove that he done certain things and prove that he took the chest before she could get there, then she doesn't have a case. And if I end up being the finder, nobody going to be suing me. Anybody does, and I will come back with all the legal force possible. And if you own it, if you come after me and you own anything, I'm going to own what you own eventually. Don't ever come after me to try to sue me. You can't. I'm on Social Security, living off grid in an RV because that's all I have. Yeah, I went to a lawyer about suing somebody once. Does he own a home? No? Well, then you can't sue him. You can't sue somebody who doesn't have anything. And if I turn out to be the one awarded it, I didn't award it to me. I may have earned it, but and I have nothing to do with anything happened to you before that point. Looking for excuses and stuff, and it's pretty sad that it's just a legal person. You know what? You involve lawyers coming after people, and people don't have the money to shell out to a lawyer, and you're fucking with their life. You fucking with what they worked for, and you didn't earn. And you're making them spend money on a lawyer and shit. When it gets to the point and the judge says, I find for the defendant, this case was bullshit from the beginning. You're going to have to pay the defendant's legal fees. And when it comes to that point, I get the most expensive lawyer there is. And make sure that person pays my legal fees. If it means seizing property. Yeah, as far as Forrest Fenn's, the his lawyer now, his job is only to hand over the stuff to the person who's named. He's got to hand it over to that person's attorney or that person or whatever. He hands it over to that person, and then that person has to go hire an attorney, and then she can come after that person. And if that person's me, she's already told me that my solution's nothing to do with hers, and hers is in Mexico, mine's in Colorado, and she's started searching in 2018. I sent pictures of the blaze to Forrest before she started searching. She ain't got a case against me. So I'm not too worried about it. And You know, so if you feel you're the finder and feel threatened, anybody, the real finder should feel threatened by somebody that's suing Forrest Fenn. And somebody suing Forrest Fenn gives the actual finder, when it comes out, it gives that finder all kinds of defense. Look, fishing, couldn't get it from Forrest Fenn, spent money. Everybody spent money searching. Even me. I spent Social Security money searching. I've got all 3 books. I bought all 3 books. And I'm going to sign off soon because my teeth aren't. The glue is loose. I agree about anything about conspiracy or government stuff on occasion. He's in a tight trailer. Tie traveler. What does that mean? Okay. How old was Forrest Fenn when he found his special place? About 50. 89. That's 90. Oh, no, about 60. Or about, I'd say around when he had cancer. About near 60, 50, 58 to 60. Because when he was 71, the guy that showed him the blaze died. Or when he was 61, the guy that showed him the place died. He died in 91. So the guy that showed him the blaze died 29 years ago. And he was like the Green Mile guy in the Green Mile that sucked all the cancer out of Forrest Fenn, and then he died for him. That's an omnipotent guru. The guy in the Green Mile, you know? Coffee. My name is Coffee. Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky. No, she hasn't got a case against anyone. I'm reading from the thing. If she can't learn the name of the finder, she can't move forward. Even if she did, he's not the guy who was harassing her. Correct. That Forrest said the finder is not the person who was sending those messages to you. The finder did not hack your computer. People have asked me you know how to hack? I never wanted to know how to, because I have no interest in hacking anybody or going to jail for hacking anybody. Yeah. Anybody if you know how to work on computers, there'll be people that'll ask you if you know how to hack, because they want you to hack somebody. Or they work for the FBI and they're trying to set you up. You think it was any voice? Treasure was found using Jessipone. Yep. And so it wasn't the guy that found it with somebody. Oh, it's this guy in Indiana. No, you couldn't find it. You can't find the blaze using a satellite. You had to be there. You couldn't find it from your couch, J.A. Street. You had to be there. You had to find Moses. J.A. Street started out being great, but I think his last video, he shot himself in the foot with a shotgun. He may have walked the whole world right now. Yeah, me, I've been trying. I was hoping to find love before the treasure, you know. And I know after having the treasure, they're all gold diggers. Before I have the treasure, they're not gold diggers. After the treasure, they're gold diggers. And one reason I'm alone is I live in a valley with a lot of farm workers, and yeah, any of the bars you go in here, it's mariachi music and stuff. I don't know. And I don't go out drink and drive, so I don't even go there. Hacker can view what force. Oh, speaking of hackers, the only hacker I know of, okay, Glenna told me that she showed me a screenshot, you know, who knows what screenshots, but she had emailed Forrest Fenn and got a reply from Billy Forrester. So, and Billy Forrester, I've caught Billy Forrester when I was searching up by Salida. He all of a sudden he's searching up by Salida in my same area, stealing the information I gave out and trying to get in there. And Billy Forrester has a friend down south that let Billy Forrester, and then it makes me wonder why you want Billy Forrester in there so bad. Yeah, are you helping him to hack? You know, and what you know, he's not a friend. He played a clown. He's a clown. CIA guys are clowns. He's a clown. And so if anybody was hacking her, it was probably Billy Forrester. It was him or it was Eugene. One of the two. Eugene has played off of my solution, trying to claim it was, oh yeah, that was my solution. And I've heard other people telling me that Eugene and his brother were hacking them. And you know, trying to be the sneaky and stuff, and come Fembury and film everybody without asking and stuff. I don't have a bunch of videos and pictures from Fembury because I wasn't spying on anybody. I saw Toby and Shelly walk by, and Toby was with nose in the sky and snot, you know. Yeah, because I said gypsies lack imagination. They can't see the shapes in the rocks. And therefore, I personally insulted them because they lack imagination. So, but you'll see. The lawyer just made it clear that this person that's going to Forrest Fenn substitute isn't going to be appointed until sometime in November and even possibly December. And when that comes up, once that person's appointed, then she can start a new case or whatever. But I think she's already shot herself in the foot with this one. And yeah, anything else come up, and they're going to pull up this one, and they're going, "What the hell are you doing?" I could write a movie script about this stuff. It'd be pretty good. Especially the title I thought of. Stomp, stomp. Push them up. Yeah, my glue isn't holding, and so I'm going to sign off. Okay, and I'm getting a call, so I'm going to sign off. Adios.